had mentioned that Donald Trump is living in a different reality, and most of the people behind him, obviously, they're paid to support that reality that Donald Trump is living in. But Andrea Mitchell's guest, he takes it to a different level here.
Donald Trump in Albuquerque last night blasting the country's first Latina governor in New Mexico, a Republican, Susana Martinez, who's also head of the Republican Governors Association. Her office responding today, saying the governor will not be bullied into supporting a candidate until she's convinced the candidate will fight for New Mexicans. Governor Martinez doesn't care about what Donald Trump says about her. Joining me now, Congressman Chris Collins, Donald Trump's first supporter in the House, one of his top allies on Capitol Hill. Was that helpful? Was that the way to go when he was in Albuquerque last night, attacking the Republican governor of New Mexico?
Well, Andrea, I think all of us are frustrated on any Republican that's not now on the Trump train. I mean,
so if you don't jump on board the Trump train, then you have the right to get pissed off at him and start making ridiculous comments. The Republican way. God bless him.
Trump has now united 87% of Republicans, actually a number higher than Mitt Romney had 4 years ago. So one thing we know about Donald, if somebody takes a shot at him, he's going to take a shot back. And I would call on any Republican and every Republican to be supporting with enthusiasm Donald Trump. He's going to win in November. And so let's get on that Trump train. So I think this was Donald being Donald, but he was being very truthful in how he was speaking in New Mexico. So again, he's got the support of Republicans. He's got the support of working class Democrats. He's got the support of independents. Donald Trump's going to win in November. We're united. Unlike what they said would happen, it's the Democrat Party that's absolutely fractured between Bernie and Hillary, and riots going on up in Nevada. So it's been a very interesting last 3 weeks, Andrea, and Donald was just being Donald yesterday.
This guy has drunk the Kool-Aid. I mean, and he looks like a wimp, but that's okay. Anyway, for him to say that he's got the support of Republicans, that in itself is true. You know, they, for the most part, are coalescing behind him. But there are a bunch of Republicans that aren't, that are in that 16%. Susana Martinez is one of them. The Bushes, they are not going to support this guy. And right now, Paul Ryan has not endorsed him or indicated his support. But you're going to notice he's not going to screw around with Paul Ryan, because Paul Ryan can whip Donald Trump's butt 20 ways a Sunday if he does get elected, because nothing can happen in Congress without Paul Ryan say so. So Trump, being the idiot that he is, and this guy not calling it the way it is, you don't go into a governor's home state and whip up on him or her, and especially if you got a problem with women and Hispanics. That was just plain stupid.
Okay, well, let me just unpack a little bit of that. The Republican Governors Association has issued a statement now saying Governor Susana Martinez has effectively instituted conservative reforms in a blue state won twice by President Obama, while winning re-election by the largest margin for a Republican in state history. And, I mean, you referred to the ruckus in Nevada at the state convention, but arguably what happened in Albuquerque last night was a lot worse, the protest there. How do you handle the fact that there are going to be these protesters following Donald Trump? It might help him politically, I grant you that, but that's not the image you want to follow him throughout this campaign.
Well, I think actually it's putting Donald Trump in a more sympathetic view, because these are not Republicans protesting against Donald Trump. These are Democrats. These are Hillary Clinton supporters.
Okay. They need to stop lying. I watched a bunch of the protests last night on various channels, CNN, MSNBC. I gotta tell you, I wasn't gonna watch Fox because I knew where Fox was going with this thing. But the people that were protesting were, the earlier protests anyway, those were all Bernie Sanders supporters, not Hillary Clinton supporters. Now, at the very end of the protest, like I guess 12 o'clock, 1 o'clock in the morning, those weren't even Bernie Sanders supporters. Those were basically, in my opinion, they were rabble-rousers. They were just out there to create problems, and you always are going to have some of those. But the real people who really were protesting for legitimate reasons, they were Bernie Sanders people, and they got out of there, pretty early once the word got out that Trump was gone, and all of the people that were inside of the facility had been shuttled to their cars so they could get out of there, and the majority of the protesters didn't even know it.
Are protesting against Donald Trump. And I don't believe you're seeing any Donald Trump supporters protesting at a Hillary Clinton rally, but it shows the frustration on the Democrat side now realizing Hillary can't win, Hillary won't win, and so that anger has bubbled out in some of these Trump rallies. But these are Democrats that are protesting at the Trump rallies. So I think it's a sad state of affairs for the Democrat Party. They are totally fractured. They don't know what to do with Donald Trump. They realize now they're going to lose to Donald Trump. So you're just seeing that absolute frustration bubble over. I'm sorry to see it happen, but I don't think it's reflecting poorly on Mr. Trump. It's rather exposing that he stands for all those people who say the country's going in the wrong direction. Those 80% of folks are either supporting Bernie or Donald. The 20% of Americans who think the country's going in the right direction, those are the Hillary supporters.
Well, I guess this guy just doesn't know electoral math. Hillary Clinton has a built-in advantage based on the Electoral College, and all she needs to do is win either Ohio or Florida, or a combination of New Mexico, Colorado, and I believe there's another swing state in there, I forget which one it is, or if she can flip Georgia. If she can flip Georgia, she doesn't have to worry about having to turn most of those other states. So all she's got to get to is the 270. She's at 242 if you count all the states that are historic Democratic voting states. And I mean historic, like the last four presidential contests that have gone Democratic. So stop drinking the Kool-Aid, look at the math. Now, for you to say that Donald Trump has a chance, yes, he does have a chance. But for you to say that Donald Trump's going to win, you absolutely cannot say that, because there is no proof or even indication that that's going to happen. Is it a possibility? Yes. Short of that, you need to be quiet. Anyway, let's continue.
Now, Congressman, you said just a few minutes ago to me that it's time for all Republicans to unite behind Donald Trump, in so many words. Does that include Paul Ryan? And what are you hearing about when he will endorse, whether, we assume he's going to endorse, but is it today? Is it now? What is he waiting for?
Notice he's not going to jump on Paul Ryan for not getting in there, because he knows better.
Well, certainly, Andrea, I have called on Speaker Ryan to endorse Mr. Trump. He and I have chatted about it. But Mr. Ryan has a little different position as Speaker of the House than those of us who are rank and file members. He's a very deliberate person. He has said time and again he will support and vote for the Republican nominee. He's just now getting to know Mr. Trump. They're having policy discussions. I've spoken to both men. They both feel like this is moving in the right direction. While there's not a rush, I'd rather it be sooner than later. I'm personally confident, not speaking for either man, that it will come together. I just can't put a time frame on it. But basically, Mr. Ryan is saying way more positive things about Mr. Trump than anything that you might deem negative.
Notice he's not screwing with Paul Ryan, because Paul Ryan could destroy him. So he's not going to push back against Paul Ryan not endorsing Trump. But if you recall earlier, he said it's time for everybody to get on the Trump train, and enthusiastically, but he's going to make an excuse for not pushing Paul Ryan. Damn shame. Kool-Aid must taste wonderful this time of year.
Do you think that Donald Trump and the people closest to him are frustrated by this?
No, no. I mean, I've met with them. They realize that Speaker Ryan has in a different, unique place in the House than the rank and file members. They have been very pleased with the conversations, as has Mr. Ryan's team. So everything in due course. All the, you know, the majority leader, the conference chair, Kevin McCarthy, Kathy McMorris Rogers, the majority of the committee chairman, Republican committee chairman, and certainly the vast majority of the House Republicans have already now jumped on the Trump train. So this is simply a process, and we got plenty of time. Let's face it, we united, or are uniting 10 weeks sooner than we thought. May 4th was not a date anyone thought that this nomination would be locked up. They said June 7th at the earliest. Probably a brokered convention didn't happen. So this has been a wonderful 10-week window that the Republicans have been given now to get united. We are uniting. And Mr. Ryan, I'm confident, will be on board. And I'm not going to call the timetable there, but certainly I prefer it be sooner than later.
Thank you very much, Congressman.
Yeah, you notice Paul Ryan's in a unique position. So they're going to give him all the time he needs to get on the Trump train. But this Latina governor, no, she needed to be on it yesterday. And if she wasn't, she's fair game for attack. That's the Trump people for you.